Last year of 2012, almost every one of our local news stations, KARE 11, I know did one that featured breaking free as far as an extended, I think it's up to like 6-7 minutes long. I think they did a 2-part series. Again, that's focusing what's happening right here in the Midwest. You'll also see interviews that we did during our Annex campaign that featured things like doing interviews with pastors from places like Waterloo, Iowa, and Hope, North Dakota. These smaller Midwest communities are seeing the realities of this. Waterloo, Iowa, there's 2 pastors there that are really doing the work of what I would consider inner city pastors. And what they're seeing in their community is basically an overflow or the outpouring from places like Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Louis, as far as both a gang and then also the element of victimizing those involved with sex trafficking.
This is Janie McCormick here today with you, and I want to include you on a Skype conversation that I'm having with a lady that's in Texas, and her name is Darlene Green, and she's written a book about her domestic violence that she... say hi to...
Hi, Jane. I'm so pleased to be here.
Oh, honey, I'm so glad you're here, too. Tell me what prompted your family to start this organization.
Well, even though I was in a violent marriage, as you said,
yeah.
I lost my sister. Well, actually, I lost my sister, my aunt, and my first cousin to relationship violence. They were all murdered by men they were dating. And even though I was in a violent relationship, it was my sister's death that actually propelled us into action, if you will. Ina Mae, my baby sister, was beaten and shot to death by the father of her 2 young sons on what should have been her 30th birthday. The coroner tells us that she expired shortly after midnight, so she was 30 years old, around 8 minutes.
Oh, no. I'm so glad you could join me on my Breaking My Silence show. I'm here with a really wonderful lady today that I just met, and this is her book. Her name is Bukola, and she's from Nigeria, right? Yes. I want to introduce you to her, and she's got a fabulous story that'll scare you to death. No, I'm just kidding. It won't scare you, but it's frightening. Poor baby. But anyway, yes. Hi. How are you,
nice
sweetie?
To meet
nice
you.
to meet you, sweetheart. How are you doing today?
Good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get to this country? Tell me.
Yes, it's a long story, but I will try to make it as short as I can.
Okay.
Actually, I came to the United States to work as a journalist. But before I came here, I had been married traditionally in my country.
Traditionally?
Yes, because in Nigeria, there are 3 types of marriages. There is the Muslim marriage, the Christian marriage, and the traditional marriage.
Oh, wow.
The traditional marriage is the oldest form of marriage in Nigeria.
Like the old days.
Yes, because
probably hundreds
the culture,
of years ago.
More than 100 years ago.
More than 100 years?
Yes, because that's the cultural thing in the country. So even if some people still go ahead and do like the church marriage or the mosque marriage, they still have to do the traditional marriage.
Oh, you're kidding.
In addition to that. Yes, because that is like acceptance from both families. If you marry and the families don't accept one another or they don't accept you, they don't consider you as married.
Oh, you don't accept?
Yes, even if you go to court, the families will not take you as their wife or as their husband.
Kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Wow. So let me ask you something. Can you tell me how you broke your silence? I mean, when you first, in your life, you were in the life of prostitution for a while. When you were young?
Yes. Well, I was sexually abused as a young girl from my father, and molested as a child, and became pregnant between my 16th and 17th year.
Oh, God.
And it's interesting, just in my story, just how through the years how things have unfolded. And in fact, it was interesting this year because some of the things that I kind of suppressed came out.
Good.
Came out.
Finally.
Finally, yes.
Does it feel like you hold on to a lot of grief and a lot of misery because you don't want anybody else to ever hear about that you went through that?
No.
Deep down inside?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore, but I mean when you were younger.
Well, oh, absolutely. When I was
Me
younger,
too.
just the shame,
God.
you know, the regrets for I had two abortions.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things that came out this last year was that the first abortion I had was, I don't know if it was my father or if it was the neighbor boy.
And he's trying to really change the graphics of men that are growing up with a lot of problems and trying to see how we can build the relationship with families and put this back together a little bit. He's a wonderful man. He's written a book, and his book is called The Firstborn Son, and his name is Ezekiel Bambolo. And he's right here, and I'd like for you to introduce you. Say hi.
Hello, Janie. So happy to be on your show, and thank you so much again for having me on. You're such a bright smile. You're making my day today. Your smile alone makes me cheer up. So I can't wait for the conversation to add to that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. I'm so glad to have you. You know, there's very few men that just delight me so much. You're such a strong man, and I love that in you. It's just very important for men to start realizing that they have to start thinking about themselves as in their manhood and how they present themselves in a world. The Firstborn Son. What a neat idea for a book. Mm-hmm. You know, and you say a curse, a gift, or is it a calling, right?
Yeah.
I want to introduce you to Marie Kinner, and she is the president of Destination Freedom Mission. She's on her mission also.
I am.
Hi.
Hi.
This is your
this is my camera. All right. Well, hi. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you could come today. This is nice.
What a pleasure. What a great cause.
Yeah, so do you. You've got a great cause.
Thank you.
I mean, your mission is to raise awareness and educate and rescue women trafficking clients or trafficking clients locally and nationally.
That's
working
right.
together to make a difference.
That's right.
Tell me this: how did you get informed about human trafficking?
Well, you know, I was watching television and I saw this international issue of human trafficking. Actually, it was the front of a brothel with children actually in cages. It broke my heart.
Oh my God.
And they were just isolated, scammering through these buildings. And I thought, oh, what can I do? Well, then, after doing research, I thought it cannot be happening here in America. I mean...
That's what we all thought.
Yeah, this was 5 years ago. And after doing research and learning that it's the second largest crime here in America,
Amen.
Second only to drugs, I was taken back. I thought, what can I do about this?
In Florida, and you're not going to believe what this man is creating. In other words, he's creating a wonderful site for children. His name is David Lampel, and this is David. Say hi to David. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you? How you doing?
Doing good. How did you get started and interested in this area?
I got involved with the idea of putting together a safe internet for children some 12 years ago. And I got involved with some other people, like-minded people, that were trying to put together a platform where kids could go so they could surf the net completely safe and secure, so they didn't have to worry about what they were getting into, if they were getting into the wrong types of sites or the wrong types of communications. And about 5 years ago, I took a much more integral part in developing the children's internet and the platform we call the Kid Wide Web. And the Kid Wide Web is set up so that children will only have access to age-appropriate content, and all of their communications, texts and videos, are strictly monitored and pre-approved by the parents.
I have a really, really great special guest today. I've been wanting to have him on my show for about 2 years. He's a fascinating man, and he's very knowledgeable when it comes to law because he is an attorney for the Ramsey County, and his name is John Choi. And here he is, and I have him on my show today. Yay!
And I'm so glad to be here today.
I'm so glad you're here. So can you tell me a little bit about the problems of the sex trafficking?
Yeah, well, that's something that I've been working on since I first got elected. I was elected in 2010, and I was sworn into office in January of 2011.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that I wanted to do was, because I really believe in order for us to make a difference around sex trafficking, we need to understand who are criminals and who are victims. And I believe that children who are being prostituted are victims of crime, and there are children in need of protection. So I got my colleagues in the metropolitan area, all of the elected district attorneys, to make a really important announcement that we would no longer prosecute those under the age of 18 with
I was there
prostitution. And I think that's an important thing because if we really want to go after the people who are the responsible parties here, it is those people that are doing the trafficking and those Johns who are engaged in this type of activity.
Yes.
And it's not the girls, and I would even say the women, because a lot of times people over the age of 18, they all started when they were much younger.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not...
or else they were molested when they were much younger.
That's absolutely right. So we have so much sexual violence, and so we just need to appropriately understand who the victims are. And so now in law enforcement, with the passage of the Safe Harbors Law, we will no longer be prosecuting those that shouldn't be prosecuted, and appropriately look at the responsible people, which are those who are doing the trafficking, the pimps, and the Johns.
And the Johns. Yay, that's my mission.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much for listening today. And I'm so happy that you could be here and hear this wonderful man speak speak about all these horrific things that are going on in women's lives. And we need to make a change. We need to stand up and make a change and stop the violence. You know, shatter the silence, stop the violence, I always say. And thank you for coming, and bye-bye now.
Those fingers in my head, that sly come hither stare, that strips my conscience bare.